Warning: some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Dumpster and get on the ground. Joseph, come on out. Climb out of the dumpster. There you go. Go run! Get down! Dog! Show your hands! Show your hands!
All right, guys, I have a Thumbs Up Thursday editorial for you. You've seen the video at the beginning of this. Guy was naked and unarmed. And it sounded like they tased him at the end after shooting him. Now, I watched also, and there's a news clip of this also. I gave you the entire body cam video from YouTube. It's 42 seconds long. But there's a lot of different news stories out there on this, and they said that the man is still alive. He's in the hospital. Thank God, right? But another, remember the one, and I always use it, for example, the DeKalb County, Georgia. Remember when the guy shot the unarmed naked veteran and then lied about it? So always film the police. Thank God they have body cam footage of what actually happened. Thank God they released the body cam footage. Now we all know what happened. And unlike DeKalb County that didn't have body cam footage at first, or they didn't have body cam footage, but somebody was recording and the cop didn't know somebody else was recording. I think that was it. At any rate, another naked man with no weapons shot by police. And then tased. It sounded like he got tased at the end. But why didn't they do that at the beginning? Let's see what's going on here. Thank you, Minnesota CBS Local, for this story. A source tells WCCO the St. Paul police officer who shot a man Saturday night has been relieved of duty. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension said Tuesday that the shooting victim, 31-year-old Joseph Javante Washington, is still being treated at St. Paul's Regions Hospital. He has been charged by the Dakota County Attorney's Office with 3 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct, 1 count of kidnapping, and 1 count of second-degree assault in connection to alleged crimes perpetrated in his Lakeville home several hours before he was shot. Investigators said the vehicle Washington and his victim were in crashed just before 8 p.m. near the intersection of Rice Street and Maryland Avenue in St. Paul's North End neighborhood. Investigators said Washington then broke into a nearby home. The homeowner called 911 and officers soon arrived to find Washington naked and hiding in a dumpster just after 9 p.m. on the 1000 block of Rice Street. St. Paul police officers tried to talk him out, and one deployed a pepper ball, which is an irritant similar to pepper spray. Washington then climbed out of the dumpster and ran towards the officers. The officers used tasers and a K-9 officer in an effort to stop him, and then one officer, whose sources say is Officer Anthony Dean, shot him at least twice. The BCA said no weapons were found in the dumpster or where Washington was shot by the officer. No officers were hurt in the shooting. Some of the officers who used weapons during Saturday's shooting were identified by the BCA. There's Officer Anthony Dean, a 6-year St. Paul Police Department veteran, deployed his handgun. Officer Jacob Peterson, a 6-year St. Paul Police Department veteran, discharged his taser. And Officer Colleen Rooney, 9-year St. Paul Police Department veteran, deployed her K-9 officer, the dog. An officer who deployed their taser and another who discharged their pepper ball gun will be identified following interviews with the BCA. All who were involved are on administrative leave, which is a standard procedure. The BCA is leading the investigations into the St. Paul home break-in and shooting, while Lakeview Police will investigate the alleged sexual assault and kidnapping. During a press conference Tuesday afternoon, St. Paul Police Chief Todd Axtell said he had taken swift actions that are in the best interest of the community and the department, but did not say at the time what actions he took due to the pending investigation. Chief Axtell said, "When I ask myself if the officer's actions on Saturday night were reasonable or necessary, the only answer I can come up with is no." Axtell also showed 42 seconds of the incident captured by officers' body camera footage. You've seen that. Chief Axtell said, "Lives have been altered. A person has been shot. The community is feeling the effects of an officer-involved shooting. An officer that has served honorably in the past has had his life changed forever." Robert Paul, the attorney for Officer Anthony Dean, released this statement Wednesday evening. That was last night. On November 28, 2020, St. Paul Police Officer Dean assisted in the search for an individual suspected of committing a violent rape and kidnapping while armed with a knife. Following this sexual assault, the suspect burglarized an occupied dwelling and confronted the homeowner. Law enforcement located the suspect hiding in a dumpster. Many attempts by law enforcement to de-escalate the situation using a variety of non-lethal methods were unsuccessful, and the suspect did not cooperate. These attempts were not shown in the short body camera video just released. In efforts to add to the transparency of the situation, the following should be added to the description of the scene. The suspect claimed to have a gun and threatened to use it against responding officers, saying, "I have a gun in here." The suspect also exited the dumpster and charged at retreating police officers, even rounding a corner at them, rather than attempting to escape. At this point, Officer Dean was acting as a cover officer and discharged his firearm to protect his fellow officers and himself. The information he had at the scene was an understanding that the suspect claimed to have a gun and used a knife earlier that evening in a violent assault and rape. It is our hope the community withhold judgment of these actions until a complete and thorough investigation is completed. Ramsey County Attorney John Choi said that the incident will be reviewed by outside agencies to avoid a conflict of interest. Now, this attorney, man, he says, and maybe he's right that there are some things we don't know about. Maybe the guy did claim to have a gun and it wasn't in the video. They knew that he had a knife. He used it earlier. All of this is true, but they had a naked man running at them and K9 was deployed. I mean, naked. Like, where's he hiding the gun? Up his butthole? But the attorney says these attempts were not shown in the short body camera video just released. We saw in the video that she's saying, "Get out of the dumpster." He climbs out of the dumpster. He runs at them naked. The dog grabs him and they shoot him. The dog would have took care of it. And I mean, it's his fault for running at the cops, that if the dog bites him, well, you know, you don't run at the cops anyway. But to shoot the guy because he's running at you, I don't want to get hit with a Peter in my head. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers, including those who shoot naked men in the street from coast to coast.